like hell we're gonna believe that. A goblin lord? My ass. You're just a damn goblin. Just a disgusting little goblin. And me, I'm the Goblin Slayer.
Fuck yeah, that's the way to start off an episode of the Biggles Breakdown. I am joined with the Raptor, Ryan Reaper.
Swear you can't read.
Yeah, I can't read. You know, I one time I was like, "Oh, hey, Raptor," and he's like, "What? Who?" And he realized I was talking to him because I can't read. So we are talking about not only one of my favorite animes, but one of my favorite franchise. And if you've been on the channel long, then you know that I have, based on the Goblin Slayer TRPG that we talk about, I have guides on how to actually play. So if you ever want to play, you guys let me know and we'll set something up because it's a lot of fun. And it's way better than 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons and all that fucking trash system. It has a fun system and it's fucking awesome. So let's start off by talking about the anime. Now, I made you watch this like what, 2 weeks ago?
Yeah, about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and what do you think about it?
Fucking fantastic, mate.
Yeah?
Easily one of my better, like, newer animes that I've seen.
There we
I'm
go.
starting to get into some of the newer shit, but yeah.
Yeah. So that first episode, do you remember what you said to me in Discord after that?
I was not ready for that first episode, fuck.
Yeah, so most people, after watching the first episode, they do not continue watching.
Mm.
And it's like way worse in the manga. So it's like it's really censored in the anime. Compared
it wasn't
to the
that censored, fuck.
Well, compared to the manga, it's super censored. So a lot of times in the anime, it talks about like how Goblin Slayer, like with Guild Girl, they've known each other for 5 years because he started adventuring like 5 years ago, even though in the movie it says 10, which might be like a mistranslation or something because it hadn't been 5 years before the thing. And the second page of year one anime, or not year one anime, the year one manga, it shows what happens to his sister.
Oh, shit.
And not only was his sister there, but there was 4 other girls with him. So it's even more traumatic than they make it out to be in the anime, where he's hiding in the closet while all this shit is happening. So,
well, they did a pretty good job of portraying the trauma.
Yeah, but it's even worse. It's even worse in the manga. And that's, I think the trauma is what makes Shield Maiden really like Goblin Slayer, because he's the one who helps her deal with her trauma, because he went through kind of the same trauma, but watching it happen rather than it happening to him. And that's why he kills everyone while she like is in terror the whole time. She can kill a demon lord, but she can't fight a goblin.
The Shield Man's the young one, yeah.
No, the Sword Maiden. Sorry, Sword Maiden. The one with the really big tits and the band-aid over her eyes. Yeah. I don't know why I always say Shield. I think it's because I've been watching Shield Hero.
It's kind of confusing because none of them really have names.
Yeah, so none of them have
kind
names.
Of genius.
And that's the best part. Like, so for the longest time, I thought her name was Farm Girl. Do you know what her name is?
It's Cowgirl, isn't it?
It's Cowgirl. And it's so funny because...
Shout out to Cowman.
Yeah, shout out to Cowman because he's got Cowgirl, you know? But it's so funny because like they love to do the scene where she wakes up and she's like tits out, backs every time, right? Or when she's over it. Yeah. So she the funny thing is in the manga she's actually jealous of Guild Girl, and she even says it's like, oh, you know her, she's got a job and she's pretty, and like gives her nothing but compliments. So it's kind of funny, even though we all know Goblin Slayer doesn't have eyes for any other woman besides Cowgirl.
I mean, really, that's for her.
He simps very hard for her. It's
At least in the anime.
well, it's even he simps even harder in the manga.
Good man.
Yeah, he knows what he's got and he wants it. So they call this a pseudo harem because all the girls love Goblin Slayer, and he's just like,
That's
no,
true, yeah.
I only love her.
I like the spear guy in the, I think like the second episode, where he's bragging about what he's done, and Gilgo's like, "Wow, that's cool. I know I should be impressed."
Yeah,
She just doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, he sees Goblin Slayer as like a rival, because of Guild Girl. And the funny thing is, you don't get this in the anime because the anime is actually out of order compared to the manga. And Goblin Slayer actually sees like Spearman as like his like most trusted acquaintance, like most trustworthy acquaintance. So he actually has more he likes him better than like the others. And I think, I don't remember, but I think in year one, in the year one mangas, they've actually gone on adventures together. I know he's gone on adventures with Witch, who's in Spearman's party. But yeah, he actually trusts him more than anybody. So they actually took that a line out where he says, you're the fastest and my most trustworthy acquaintance, or the acquaintance that I trust the most, out, because it's out of order. So the fight at the end, like the last two episodes, didn't already happen. So those actually happen before they go to Watertown. So before they meet the Sword Maiden. So that happens before that. So they've already had that interaction.
I could kind of see why they changed it, at least for the anime, because it's more climactic at the end.
Yeah, it's a more climactic fight. And it also makes Priestess look like she's got more growth than what she had gotten, and now you see why he trusts her, right? But they have a lot of time off together that's not in the anime, in the manga, so it really flows fine in the manga, but I think it's a little bit more impactful in the anime. So in the manga, it's like the first 5.5, I think. It might be 6. It might be.
Mangas are usually pretty long, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, this one has 11 right now, and 12 is I think I was supposed to get 12 today. 12 is supposed to come out, I think, today. So I'm waiting for the Amazon package to get here with it. But go ahead.
I was going to say, trying to portray something so long in like 12 episodes can be difficult, but they do a really good job of it.
Yeah, I think they do a really good job. I mean, it's not as brutal, and Goblin Slayer doesn't come off as a pure killing machine like he does in the manga, because he's like even more badass in the manga than he is in the anime.
He's pretty badass when you first see him walking down that tunnel.
Yeah. When I know it starts off like when the anime first starts, it's got Priestess like sitting in her own piss because she pissed herself because she's scared. Yeah, and you just see Goblin Slayer walking up, and
it's like, Yeah.
And you're not sure if she's afraid of him or what
Or the
else
goblins.
lurks, right? And then at the end, you see him come and destroy. So what do you think of the first episode, like introducing those adventures? That you're like, oh, maybe it's going to be about these adventures, and then they just
Yeah, they start off kind of lighthearted, and they're like, "Nah, fuck this, brutal as fuck."
yeah, yeah. I was like, oh, in the
But I mean, they do a good job of like portraying how like menacing the goblins are.
yeah,
Hey, Sherry.
they bring back the that goblins are no longer just like a piece of shit that you can just kill with anybody, you know? Like
Yeah, because there was like
children can kill
level 1
goblins.
cunts in like RPGs and stuff. Easy to
Yeah.
kill.
Yeah, they're always the little fuckers that you kill. Goblins aren't a threat, but in Goblin Slayer, they are a threat. And the stronger the goblin, the more fucking brutal they are. The champions are much better fighter than the lords. So like the lords are easier to kill than the champions.
And they
Because
seem to have the ability to speak as they go like to higher levels.
yeah, as they gain levels, they are now able to speak. So in the manga, in the first in the first manga, it actually gives backstory of why they went and became adventurers, and
Okay.
it's a lot more emotional when they die because it's kind of funny in the anime when they die. You're like, ah, fuck, shit. He's
Yeah,
like,
they
I
last
can
all
kill a
like 4
goblin,
minutes.
and then he's like, Chaka! You're just like, oh shit, and you
I can kill
kind
goblin,
of
and then they're
laugh
just
about
like
it.
brutally stabbing him and hacking up to bits and stuff.
Yeah, and then when it happens to the girls, you're like, oh,
Yeah,
that's
it's a bit cringe.
yeah, and you're like, oh. But I need to know. Do you remember what episode 5 is?
It's hella lit, mate. That's all I need to know.
It's so lit. Okay, so episode 5 is not in the main manga.
Isn't it?
No, it's not. It's actually in it is in A Brand New Day. It's the first story in A Brand New Day. Now, A Brand New Day, the first book has 4 stories, and I think Brand New Day 2 has 4 other stories. Now, these are the stories that happen in the off time when it's not like usually Goblin Slayer. So it focuses on other characters in the world. So
Yeah.
episode 5 is where Goblin Slayer tells Greenhorn Warrior and Apprentice Cleric, well, you can probably kill them with a club because I assume they'll get hurt by it like a goblin would, you know? Which is funny to me that Goblin Slayer doesn't even know that a club can kill a rat. But he can tell you that it can definitely kill a goblin. So
He knows what he's good at.
yeah, so it's episode 5 is all about like him and Priestess getting some stuff, right? And Greenhorn Warrior and Apprentice Cleric. They're the stars of that episode, really. And it's about them going into the sewer trying to level up. Now, Greenhorn Warrior is porcelain rank, and so is Apprentice Cleric, and they end up joining Female Knight and Heavy Warrior, who are the 2 strongest adventurers in that guild.
Yeah, they do some training with them too.
Yeah, and that's
funny.
later on, but they are important to the story because it helps Priestess like realize that, hey, I'm going to stick with Goblin Slayer even though I could be helping them. So they're kind of important, and they help out in the last fight of the anime. So they're actually pretty helpful. They're not useless like the other 2 in that party, Druid Girl and Scout. I think his name is like Human Scout or Rookie Scout or something like that. Who you never see fight other than the little training episode, and they just talk. And no one, like, it doesn't even say in like the manga or in the anime, it never mentions like what rank they are. So you never even know what they are. So there's 10
Like it adds
ranks.
just enough mystery.
Yeah, yeah, but you don't learn anything about the characters, and they don't even give them any stories in like a brand new day or anything. So you're like, they give a waitress who's like a cat girl like a whole story to herself, and they don't give those two that are actually in the anime, and you never see the cat girl in the anime. So it's kind of
Bloody
funny.
cat girls.
Yeah, I
Why
don't
do
know
they
what
get
it
so
is.
much support, hey?
I don't know. I'm not a cat person, even if they're like cat girls. You know, I'm not into that.
I think people who are a bit weird, but hey,
Yeah,
each their own.
yeah. So, do you have a favorite episode?
I quite like the Watertown.
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't one episode; it was like 2 or 3. But
Yeah, the little arc of the Watertown.
yeah,
Where he kills the champion with the hair. Well, no, he doesn't kill him originally with the hair.
that was a clip you showed at the start, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think
Like
he cut.
he goes full Ultra Instinct because he's nearly dead.
Yeah, and he just fucks everything up. So in the manga, that scene is way more awesome. So he comes out, kills the big guy, and he's just like, "Who's next?" And he goes into like a rage or like a berserk rage kind of, and just cuts up more and more goblins. One of the goblins pisses himself, and like they
Yeah,
start running
tables have
away.
turned.
Yeah, and it's just fucking brutal. And later on, Sword Maiden tells him, if you keep going like that, they won't be able to tell the difference between you and a goblin.
Oh,
Because
that's
you'll
gonna
be
cut deep.
yeah. So it's like the manga is like more emotional and more brutal, and it's
I'm
just
gonna have to read this.
it's fucking awesome. Yeah, you're going to have to because it's really fucking good. Um, that's why I'm saying it's one of my favorite franchise. It's got a great fucking tabletop game. It's got one, two, three, 4 side stories. The fourth one comes out next next year, I think, in English, because there's only one in it so far in Japanese, so that one hasn't come yet. But
It's a pain trying to
it's
find these things in English sometimes.
well, it hasn't released yet, so it's just fucking awesome. I absolutely love it. Is there anything else you really want to say about the anime right now?
Just it's awesome. Everyone should watch it.
Fuck yeah. I think it's fucking awesome. I wish there was more episodes. Did you get to watch the movie at all?
I did, yeah.
All right. Did you okay, so did you like the movie?
Yeah, it was good. It wasn't quite as good as the series, I thought, but
Yeah, so it's about Noble Fencer, this chick right here. Noble Fencer, and she goes and they're trying to starve out
the goblins, yeah.
the goblins in a fortress. And there's
Terrible strategy.
yeah, it will work, but they're
If
going
you
to
don't know how
last
much
longer.
food they've got,
Yeah.
so there's no point. They're basically the rookie team from like episode 1.
Yeah,
They
so
can slay some easy goblins.
so Noble Fencer is actually a porcelain ranked. So
She seems like she's like higher rank because of her weapon. She's got some sort of special sword.
So the sword is a family weapon. She is only a porcelain rank, so she is the lowest rank. She is the leader of that group. And her group's kind of bitchy and fucking awful. So when they died, I didn't feel bad at all.
Yeah, I mean, they seem to trust her at the start, but as time goes on, they're waiting like weeks they just start to turn on her one by one.
Yeah. And then she got ambushed while she was like trying to sleep, which you should know they sleep during the night, so you should sleep during the day.
Exactly.
So that was another bad strategy by her. And Goblin Slayer and them get a quest to go find this noble girl. Now, this noble girl now has a Paladin of the Moon God crest on her neck. She got branded. She was sexually assaulted. She was beaten. All her friends were killed. So this girl's got it pretty rough right now. And Goblin Slayer comes in, gets her, and then they're like, "Oh, all I need to do is get back your sword." So he's like, "I have a plan," and he like puts all the girls in cages, and they go, and then they fight.
Basically, the plan's to sell them as it or give them as a gift to the goblins.
Yeah, and then she freaks out and kills the shaman, so they're not able to do the ritual, and then this big ass battle happens. And spoiler for those that don't know, Goblin Slayer kills all the goblins. What do? They cause an avalanche.
Couldn't have predicted that.
Yeah, we couldn't have predicted a snow movie with
a guy named Goblin Slayer.
Yeah, they couldn't predict he's going to kill all the goblins, and he's going to use an avalanche, because snow. And it's just kind of everything is so predictable in that movie. But you know what's awesome? Goblin Slayer killing goblins. So I don't mind it. It's a nice little movie. Noble Fencer is a nice little addition to the episode, or to the movie, I should say. And
it kind of feels like a long episode.
Yeah.
It's about 90 minutes.
Yeah. And the first 25 is actually a special, and it's called Priestess's List, where Priestess basically recaps the entire season and what happens.
Yeah, that annoyed me a bit, actually. I'm like, I just watched the season. I don't need to be reminded of the whole thing.
Yeah, but see, it's an episode.
Yeah.
It's not even part of the movie. So, like, the first time I just skipped it. I didn't even, I just went to, 25 minutes in, and there was snow, and I was like, "Yep, there we go. I don't even have to watch this," But it's pretty enjoyable. It's not as climactic as some of the other fights in it. I don't think I've seen it in the mangas. We are in season 2 about to meet 2 new female characters that are adventurers.
I can't wait for season 2.
So, and we got a trailer for season 2, or a trailer teaser, I think a month ago or something like that, less than a month ago. So I'm super hyped for Goblin Slayer season 2. I think it drops
when it comes out this year.
I think it's this year.
Sick.
Or early next year, one of the two. I'm hoping it's this year because I don't want to wait. I just want more Goblin Slayer, man. I got all this stuff.
I can't wait for stuff. I'm waiting for Demon Slayer to bring out the English episodes. It's every Tuesday, so they're up to episode 7. But that's still 5 or 6 more episodes.
August 7th should be when it comes out.
Goblin Slayer.
No, all the Demon Slayer in English. Yeah.
Nice.
If my math is correct,
it should probably be up by then.
Yeah, it should.
I've seen a couple of them. It's really good.
Yeah. We're going to marathon it in my Discord for all the people that don't have it. I think on the 7th, because Chunk and Swigs don't have Funimation or Crunchyroll or anything. So and they
you can get around that. Come on.
Yeah, I know. And they don't have. They only watch the English version because they can't read like me.
I mean, can't read Japanese anyway or understand it. So
right. So I've been learning some Japanese and I can understand a little bit of it. But let's go into merch and manga. So merch and manga is when we show off all our merch that we have for the show. I know you probably don't have
that's
any.
going to be a bit one-sided.
So I know you don't have any because you just got into the show. But
That's it.
I'll
enjoy it with the chat. All right.
Yeah, I have a bunch of stuff from the. I have a bunch. I have every single English manga there is. I have the tabletop manual. I have a figurine.
That's a committed man.
I have this, which came in the movie. It's Little Noble Fencer. I have the artwork that came with the movie. So Noble Fencer, Goblin Slayer,
Oh, that's a
Priestess, High Elf Archer, Lizard Priest.
I really like his party. They're funny.
And Dwarf Shaman. Yeah, they're fucking awesome, dude.
They're always
I love
ribbing
them.
each other.
Yeah, I love it.
And the fucking lizard guy loves, was it cheese?
Cheese, yeah. I think he loves all dairy. Yeah, I think he loves all dairy. Because he's like, ice cream? It's so funny. I have Goblin Slayer season 1.
Like that one episode they just all tried ice cream.
Yeah. So Goblin Slayer season 1, and it inside it has like a map drawn out as if they're saying, oh, this is the world, right? So it is an RPG land. It is based on dice rolls and everything, but Goblin Slayer doesn't let anybody roll his dice. So he is not affected by everybody. And then I have the Dutch version of Goblin Slayer Goblin's Crown because
Trying to learn Dutch now.
no, I'm just fucking. I was like, oh shit, look at this. It's got all the stuff.
Yeah,
and,
you get excited and you don't read properly.
And I didn't even fucking read it.
I mean, I think we established at the start you can't read anyway.
Yeah. Oh, Blue-Eyed Scorpy. That's so nice.
Blue-Eyed Scorpio, what's going on?
I rolled the fuck out of his dice. All right. So I have Priestess here. Yeah, go full screen real quick. I have Priestess here. I haven't taken her out of the box.
As you shouldn't.
He's got
Where's the money on there?
Got the hat right there. And I spent a lot of money on that. And I haven't been able to justify spending $300 on both High Elf Archer and then $300 on Cowgirl.
Fucking hell.
The funny thing is Goblin Slayer is only like $130. So I'm probably going to buy Goblin Slayer coming up.
Where's the equality in that, hey?
Well, yeah, you know. But I have a Dragon Ball Super card that's worth $900. So I might sell that and buy the High Elf Archer and Cowgirl and Goblin Slayer. So I'm debating on whether or not to do that. I have the Goblin Slayer TRPG manual where we've played Goblin Slayer on this channel before. The reason why we stopped is I got way too busy and I couldn't DM, and I'm not a very good DM anyways. So if there's any people that actually like to DM and are willing to learn this, let me know and we'll run it. I'll play that game all day.
Should always run it by a Rudai.
I don't.
I tried.
I tried to run it by a Rudai when I was the editor for that channel, which I had to stop because he would be like, "Hey, I need this recap before it starts," and like the show would start at 4. He'd give it to me. He'd give it to me that morning, and I wouldn't get home till 3. So I would be like, from 3 to 4, I'm like trying to work, and by the time and he's like, and you have to edit all of this, and you have to find all the funny parts. Well,
That means you have to watch like a 3-hour stream, basically.
Yeah, I have to go through the 3-hour stream and then cut all the funny parts. And the first couple weeks, it wasn't that hard because I was like watching the videos and I was taking notes. And then he was like, "Well, this recap's too long." And I was like, "Dude, you told me to get all the funny parts." He's like, "Well, I need it like a minute long." So I was like, "You want me to go through 4 hours
To
of
find 1
video
minute, yeah.
to find 1 minute?" And I
Good
was
man.
like,
Good man.
while giving me only 2 hours to edit. Because he kept going later and later at giving me the episodes. And I was like, "Dude, like just
Damn, I'm lucky I only have to make his thumbnails. Fuck.
right." Well, the funny thing is with Lethal, right? I have editor privileges on Hyper Lethal, so I can
Oh.
go in and download them, right? So I don't have to wait for Lethal to send me videos, even though we haven't been doing anything on that Hyper Lethal channel other than Gronkin.
What are you doing, Lethal?
I know,
Not
right?
grifting hard enough, mate.
You have a simp on your non-simping podcast, you know? What are you
That's it.
doing? And
It's been pretty hectic lately.
yeah, I bet, man.
He's rocking and rolling.
Yeah, man, and so is the channel you run.
Which one do I run? That is the one I run.
Yeah, the Full Aussie channel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Currently at 671 subs.
Yeah, you guys will make it to 1,000 pretty soon, you know?
I mean, we'd be basically monetized now under the new rules, but they don't come out in Australia apparently.
That's dumb. Yeah, I just got the new rules like a week ago because everybody else had it and I didn't get it. So we're working our way to 500, you know. In this last month I got 11 new subscribers, so we're working
Fantastic.
we're working our way up. People like the Biggles Breakdown because people
Hey, mate.
actually like when I talk.
Biggles
about
Breakdown
it.
is where it's at.
I know, man. It's fun.
I feel like I've made it.
You've made it, man. You've definitely made it. You know, this is better than the Full Aussie.
I
We
wouldn't go
have
that.
we have Lethal on here sometimes, you know.
Yeah, he was on the Evangelion stream 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and you know what? I
would have loved to have been a part of that one. I love that show.
Oh, I wish I knew. I would have threw you on.
It's probably
there
the
too.
first anime I ever saw, or at least understood.
The first one, you understand that anime? Because I've watched it like 3 times and I still have no idea what the fuck's going on.
I mean,
And I
after
told Lethal
probably
that.
like the last 2 episodes, and it just falls off.
Then you're like, what the fuck is going on? All right, so with more merch manga, we got to show off the manga. So I have here year 1. Now, if you want to start with Goblin Slayer, you got to start with year 1. Chronological order. So it is 8.
That's some thick ass books.
It is 8 long. Yeah, they're fucking long. The mangas take me like an hour to read.
It take me 4 weeks. Fuck.
Yeah. So that is year 1. This is year 1. It's when he starts adventuring in that guild. This one I haven't started yet, so almost all of them are still in the packaging. This is one of the only named characters. It's 4 issues right now. It is Dai Katana, the Singing Death. So it's about an assassin in this world, and I can't tell you anything more about it because I haven't read it, but it's
So they have like a whole series for just one character.
yeah, it's fucking awesome. And like there's of course there's titties because they love titties, you know. But I have to read this one, so I'm going to start on
Kitty
this
exclusive
soon.
here on the Biggles Breakdown.
Yeah, titties on the Biggles Breakdown. Then we got A Brand New Day. It's got 2 of them. This is actually the first story is episode 5. So you got them fighting the bugs. And then I haven't got to 2 yet, but Cowgirl takes Priestess shopping. And then Sword Maiden is trying shit out. So you got Sword Maiden titties. You know?
Fuck yeah.
So there's lots of titties in this. Don't worry. And then we have the main series.
Like you had me at titties.
Yeah.
Say no
got,
more.
you got the main series, which is right here, which I think starting today, which they haven't delivered yet, there's going to be 12. So I don't have number 12 yet. It is on its way being shipped. So
Nice.
that is all the mangas that I have. That is every single one in English. There is a new one coming out. I forgot what it's called. It is about a different set of characters again, and I'm excited to start reading it when it comes out. I think it comes out in English next year.
Cool.
So now we're at the part that everybody loves. The tier list.
Oh yeah, let's go.
We got the tier list. Now,
Some waifus.
unfortunately, I don't think Biggles learns to read with picture books. Dan Blackroyd is 100% right. Now, unfortunately, I don't think we have any filthy goblins in this tier list. I don't think any of these are filthy goblins because they're all fucking awesome. That's
True.
one thing this anime does very well is the characters. Now, if I was to add any goblins on here, they'd all be in the filthy goblin characters, including that ogre that Goblin Slayer says, "You're nothing compared to a goblin, you fucking piece of shit." All right, so we're going to start with Apprentice Cleric. Oh, yeah, hold on. Let's go over the rules. Platinum is our best characters. These are our S tiers, just like the best rank in the Adventurer Guild.
Now, I like how you've got the ranks.
I only let you have 3. So you can only choose 3 characters to be up there. We can argue over that all you want. Then we have silver ranks. Then we have emerald, which is right in the middle. Then we have porcelain rank, which is the lowest. Now, I don't think anybody is going to be in the filthy goblins because they're even lower than porcelain rank adventurers.
I mean, I can send you a quick picture of Muzza.
We can put Mazza in the filthy goblins. I have a picture of his. I have a picture of Mazza that I would like hide into Lethal's videos, and it
Nice.
literally says, I have it saved under Mazza's dumb face.
That's exactly where it should be.
All right, so let's start with Apprentice Cleric. Apprentice Cleric goes on the adventure with Greenhorn Warrior in episode 5. She's talking to Druid Girl while Greenhorn Warrior and Rookie Scout are training with Female Knight and Heavy Warrior. She likes Greenhorn Knight. If you weren't able to tell in the anime,
Oh, she's a simp.
yeah, she's kind of a simp for him, but she also gives him shit for losing his sword and not doing shit correctly. And there's a line in the manga where she's
But
like,
basically, they're already married.
yeah, basically, and she's like, "You stink. Don't come by me, or people are going to think I stink too." So she's like,
That's how we do it, P-Dub.
she calls him Mazza, basically. You stink. Go, you're fucking allergic to soap over there. All right. So where would we put Apprentice Cleric? What do you think of Apprentice Cleric as a character?
Oh, look, she's in the anime a bit of a throwaway because she's only in like 1 episode, isn't she?
Yeah, she's only in one. She's only in one story in the book too, but the whole story's around her, or in the manga.
It's a good episode, though. I'd probably give her an emerald.
Emerald. All right. Then we have Cowgirl.
Platinum.
Platinum. All right, man. She is actually pretty awesome as a character.
Yeah, I mean, they're basically friends since childhood. Her and the
Friends
Goblin
since
Slayer.
childhood. She cares very much about the farm. She cares very much about Goblin Slayer. She cares about her uncle.
But she has a sad side where she regrets not being there when the attack happened.
Yeah, well, it's good she wasn't there.
True, she'd be dead too,
Yeah.
or severely traumatized.
She cares a lot for Priestess. I feel
Yeah,
like
she does kind of play a mother figure.
I feel like Priestess is going to end up being the adopted daughter when you finish like the manga. Goblin Slayer and her get married and fucking they adopt Priestess. Because clearly Goblin Slayer cares a lot about Priestess. Like probably more than anybody else besides Cowgirl. All right. Dwarf Shaman.
This guy's pretty funny.
He makes fun of
The
High
elf
Elf
man.
Archer all the time. He's like,
But there's always been like a rivalry between dwarves and elves.
Yeah, and he even like makes fun of her being flat. And I forgot what he says in the anime, but in the manga, he's like, "You're an anvil. You're flat." And then he constantly refers to her as anvil, like to make fun of her.
But it's because she reacts so hard to it that he keeps doing.
Yeah, she's very emotional and very reactional. And High Elf Archer is way better in the manga than the anime. And I know people that love High Elf Archer and say she's the best character in the anime, but I think she's way better in the manga, and I don't think she's the best character in the anime because
she's
I've
probably one of the
read
more
manga.
fun characters in the anime.
She is definitely fun. She's definitely a laugh. She definitely goes against Dwarf Shaman. Dwarf Shaman has some really powerful spells, and they don't show off how badass they are in the anime. So he is also, well, you know what? I think he's funnier in the anime than the manga, but he's more of a threat in the manga as a fighter.
It's harder to convey tone in the written word anyway.
Yeah. So where would we put Dwarf Shaman?
I think he's a silver character.
Silver? I think a lot of these characters are silver. So we have female knight now.
She's the one who hangs out with the big cunt with the shield. Yeah.
She hangs it. Well, no, he's just got a big ass sword.
Oh,
he doesn't have a shield. Yeah, she has the shield. She is a paladin, or she wants to become a paladin. She's
not quite there yet.
She's basically the strongest in that adventuring guild. She was one of the earlier people to be willing to help, and makes fun of Heavy Warrior for saying, "Yeah, I'm going to help because it's about money," and she knows the real reason, because Goblin Slayer helped them out with the killing the goblins in his town that he's from. She comes to Greenhorn Warriors and Rookie Scouts aid, kind of, when when Heavy Warriors like kicking their ass too much. So she had to like put him in his place just so the guys can learn like, oh, you're not always going to get your ass kicked, and sometimes the big guys can lose too, right? So she taught them a good lesson by jumping in and fighting when he's a little bit fatigued. So what's your thought on her?
Woman. Yeah, she's at least an emerald.
All right. Goblin Slayer. Slayer of goblins.
I think we're both going to put him in platinum.
Yeah. So Goblin Slayer is my second favorite character in all of Goblin Slayer. There's only one I like more. I don't think you know who it is, but you know who it is.
It's got to be Guild Girl.
Well, she's up there too. I love Guild Girl. But I would totally buy a figurine.
Priestess
of
is your
Guild Girl.
favorite then?
Priestess is my favorite. but Guild Girl is right there too. So like my platinums would be Guild Girl, Priestess, and Goblin Slayer.
Fair enough.
But I will accept Cowgirl, because
She was my
damn.
favorite.
Yeah, well, I don't blame you. She's a good character.
And she sleeps naked.
Yeah. Ugh. And always wakes up in that arched position. All right, we have Greenhorn Warrior. He's a member of this party right here. He is
He's
porcelain. He's not very good with his sword, but he was really good with the club. He did pretty well with the club. He's a little timid. He flirts like a sixth grader.
Who's he trying to impress?
He's trying to impress apprentice cleric. And then
It's funny because she already wants him, so it's like you don't have to try that hard, buddy.
I know it's really funny. So where would you put him?
I'd put it in porcelain for sure.
Porcelain. All right. So he's probably the weakest character on this list.
Definitely.
He's not as funny as his simp. So we have Guild Girl. Now, Guild Girl obviously has a thing for Goblin Slayer. Doesn't give Spearman the time of day.
No.
She's always trying to help the porcelain adventurers by telling them maybe you shouldn't take that quest. Like you'll die, right? Helps out Greenhorn Warrior and Apprentice Cleric when they lost the sword and they need to complete the quest by telling them to go talk to Goblin Slayer. She knows that Cowgirl is worried about Goblin Slayer, so she tells them about they want to possibly do a training thing. She's got all the right measurements, right? Because that matters.
This is Guild Girl.
This is Guild Girl.
Yeah, she's pretty well proportioned. Not like over the top as most animes are.
Yeah. Well, you should see her in a brand new day when she goes shopping with Cowgirl.
Did a little bit of that in the anime, but it's pretty short.
Yeah. All right. Where would you?
I mean, you can imagine she's like sick of seeing these young adventurers that think goblins are easy to kill come back dead or worse.
Yeah.
It's hard to think that anything's worse than death, but this show shows you there is.
Yeah, just look at Sword Maiden.
Given how important she is to the story, I'd probably put her in platinum.
All right, that means there's only 3, which means I can't put Priestess there.
I thought you were going to do 3 each.
No. You can put as many as you.
Each.
You can put as many as you want. So if you want to put everybody in silver, we can, right? But we can only put 3 platinum because those are the best characters that we have.
Okay.
So that
I'll do you a solid. Move Cowgirl at the end of silver.
Okay. I mean, Cowgirl. I can understand Cowgirl as platinum, and I can
Silver's not too bad.
Yeah, I can also understand if you want this to happen, but
It's your show at the end of the day.
Hey, man, my guests get to make the tier list. Okay.
Ain't the Raptor breakdown.
I don't want to. I need more Raptor later in the breakdowns.
All right. But I mean, I can see Priestess being platinum too, just in terms of the story.
Yeah, that's why she's my favorite. All right, Heavy Warrior. He really shines in that last episode. He trains the younger ones. He
He's a
does
veteran
care about
warrior,
Goblin Slayer. Yeah, he's the strongest in their adventuring guild.
And what rank are they? They're like probably emerald or silver.
No, they're silver, 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 gold, silver, 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 porcelain, porcelain. She's obsidian right now.
Yep.
So the highest rank is
It's cool that they take time to help out the younger ones too.
yeah.
Because most guys, like a spear guy, doesn't seem like the type who would do that.
See, that's why he's better in the manga because he does help them out.
Oh, okay.
Him and Witch help him out. So Witch gives him the candle, and Spear Guy was like, I would give you weapons, but he's like, I got tons of extra, but you're not strong enough to carry them.
Hmm.
So he's like, but we can help you this way, right? So he's very helpful. He helps out Goblin Slayer, even though he's like, I'm not your errand boy, right? And the only reason why he's like aggressive towards Goblin Slayer is because
He
wants the sass.
Yeah.
He wants the sass. Yeah, right. He's doing everything he can for Guild Girl, and Goblin Slayer's in his way. So where would we put Heavy Warrior? Because he's very good at fighting. He takes care of the younger ones. He's willing to help out fellow adventurers.
He's in a fair few episodes too.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't say a lot.
No, he's I think he gets more to do later on, but like I would love a manga just about him, right? Him.
Yeah, a lot of the characters you just see hanging out at the guild.
Yeah.
And nothing really happens until the end of the story.
Well, so in year one, there's some of the characters that are in the anime are in year one, and they go on a quest with him, with Goblin Slayer, and it's not even a quest to slay goblins, so I don't know why Goblin Slayer's there. Wait, I don't even know if actually. I think Goblin Slayer is outside slaying goblins, and everybody's inside fighting this giant worm that like digs through walls and shit, kind of like a tremor.
I don't do worms.
Yeah, but they kill the worm.
We're getting back to the tier list. I'd probably give him Emerald.
Emerald. Before or after his?
After.
Okay. High Elf Archer.
Silver.
Silver.
She's one of the better characters for the show.
Before or after Shaman?
Might go after.
After. Now we've talked about Anvil here, flat as a board. She doesn't like the way people talk about Goblin Slayer, so she like acts super flirty with.
She kind of gets
Slayer.
salts for him.
Yeah, she acts super super. I almost said super salty, super flirty with Goblin Slayer after people were like talking bad about him, and then talking what they wouldn't want to do with High Elf Archer, you know. So she's like, "Oh, Goblin Slayer," and then she asks him. I don't remember if this is in the anime, but it's in the manga, and she's like, "Do I have to wear underwear? Do all humans wear underwear?"
I think I remember hearing something like that.
Yeah, so she's the funny one of the party. She's the comic relief, but she's also badass. And in Watertown, they leave out a really big part. You know where she gets her clothes ripped off and she gets kind of messed up. Well, she gets up after that, and she has.
The priestess heals her, doesn't she? She healed someone. I don't think it was Goblin because he went like ultra instinctive.
No, she didn't heal anybody because she used all her miracles. She gave Goblin Slayer a potion, I think. Or Goblin Slayer gave himself the potion. But in the manga, it doesn't show it. She gets like she picks up this thing by them, and it might.
Oh, I
it
know. I
might
remember. The dwarf saves her.
Yeah, but yeah, so after the dwarf saves her, she goes like rage mode, right? So she's kind of like Goblin Slayer when his eye goes red and you're like,
Mm.
shit's about to go down. Well, she goes like that, but she doesn't have like a bow or anything. She picks up like maybe like a club or something, and she
Yeah,
just
whatever she can
fucking
find.
starts smashing goblins. She kills
She
like
knows what really
7.
happened to her.
Yeah, she kills like 7 in this rage, and then it cuts over to Goblin Slayer and Priestess, and like that. Those like 3 panels or whatever in the manga are like better than anything in the anime as for High Elf Archer, and it's just so fucking awesome to watch. We also miss there. You know when Lizard Man fucking picks up the mirror?
Yeah.
He goes even stronger. He like goes Super Saiyan in the manga and just like fucking lifts it up with his bare hands. It's fucking awesome. So now we're on Lizard Priest. I think he's silver.
Yeah, I could agree with that. He's a
He
fun
loves
character.
cheese.
Absolutely loves cheese. He's nectar of the gods, basically.
Nectar of the god. Yeah, exactly. He doesn't fuck around.
It's his crack.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, it's his crack. I would put him right behind these two.
Yeah.
He's pretty fucking awesome. But he's not the best character. And I just think it's because of like my Lord Goblin Slayer or
He's very sort of one note.
He's very he could be end of silver or like the beginning of emerald, but I wouldn't say he's like lower. All right, now we have my favorite character, Priestess. She goes through so much growth throughout this thing. I would say, even though the story is called Goblin Slayer, Priestess is the main character.
Yeah, she does get the most sort of story arc in the whole show.
And I'm pretty sure when you listen to the theme song, it's about Priestess.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Because
I mean, Goblin Slayer is like he slays goblins. That's all you really need to know about him.
Yeah, and then Priestess, she cares for Goblin Slayer. That she even did a resurrection thing with him. Like she had to be naked in the bed with him.
That was actually pretty funny scene when she wakes up.
Yeah. Well, there's
You
so
didn't
much.
see anything, did you?
He's like, I did. Don't worry, there's no scars. And she was like talking about like her boobs and stuff, and he was like talking about scars because like Goblin Slayer, like he doesn't think about like sex all the time, right? His mind, he's clearly
one
focused.
track mind. It's goblins.
He's like, I kill goblins and I protect Guild Girl, or not Guild Girl. I protect Cowgirl and I protect Priestess. Right? No one else matters besides killing goblins. And the reason why
he even goes as far because he lives with Cowgirl and her dad. He goes out every morning and checks the
uncle. It's her uncle.
Sorry.
Yeah. Don't worry. I was watching a video today about Goblin Slayer, and he was like, her dad. And I was like, what? No, you're not paying attention. That's her uncle.
Easily mistakable.
Yeah, because they live together. Her dad was killed in the goblin attack.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why he lives with the mother, or she lives with the mother. Priestess has so much growth. You meet her as a girl who peed herself, and then she pees herself a second time. And then at the end, she's the one who helps finish off the Lord. Even though that's out of order, so it kind of screws her growth a little bit. But we're talking the anime for the tier list. So I think she's even above Goblin Slayer. No. I think she's the best character in the show.
At least in terms of character growth.
As a character, yeah. And she's fucking adorable. So I don't want to have sex with her. Let's put that out on the record.
She's only like 15.
Yeah, I know. She's just my favorite character. She's adorable. There, you know, when they go in to get her equipment repaired,
Yeah.
there's a scene in the manga where she's like, oh, I've seen this weapon before. And she's like, it's called a flail. They train it there. And Goblin Slayer's like, oh, are you going to get a weapon? And they're more it's more like nunchucks than a flail. And she like, there's a panel and she hits herself in the head with it. She goes, oh, probably not. And then she's got the meme where it's like it's like a bumper sticker and it's like, you get used to it, because like High Elf Archer is like, there's blood on me. And she's like, you get used to it. And like all the times like High Elf Archer tries to complain about something, she's like, you get used to it. And it just it's a funny meme and I love it. You get used to it. And
memes make everything better.
It's part of her character, right? You want to know what's funny? So far I've seen this going the same way, but it all depends on these three characters. All right.
This is where it gets good.
This is where it gets good. We have Spearman.
Filthy Goblin.
Filthy Goblin? Shit. Man.
He's a dirty cunt. He's trying to steal Girl. And he just won't leave her alone.
All right, man. I love Spearman. I think he's one of my favorite characters.
I like his obnoxiousness.
Yeah, it's fun. And he kicks some fucking ass too.
Yeah, he does. You don't expect it, at least in the anime, but
well, you hear him bragging about it, so you expect him to be like a pushover.
Yeah.
The funny thing is, in the manga, you don't get this in the manga. You know, after he says this is a veterans fight now, otherwise get off the thing, right? In the manga, he's like, he goes over there. He's like, they're like, what are you doing over here? He's like, I'm getting a drink. I'm thirsty. And he's like, oh, don't worry. They got this. I'll be there in a second. Like, he's like, they're fine. I'll go kick some ass after I get some water. And like the witch is like
10 goblin lords out there and shit.
Yeah, and the witch is just like, yeah, don't worry about it. They got it. Like, so he's a filthy goblin. Damn. All right. Damn. I would put him right here. But all right, we'll go filthy goblin. I'm okay with it. I don't complain. I love Spearman though. I actually used him as a thumbnail, and that video gets like the most views. So,
nice.
We have Sword Maiden, the highest
Sword Maiden.
What?
Sword Maiden's her name, yeah.
Yeah, Sword Maiden. She's the highest rank out of all of these. She is a gold rank adventurer. She's one of 10.
Isn't she like a high priestess or something?
She is the Archbishop of the Supreme God.
Right. I knew she was something fancy.
She was traumatized by goblins. She deleted.
She was really fucking traumatized.
Yeah, she defeated the former demon lord. She has a familiar that's a white alligator.
That's also part of her trauma too, because she's like, I could defeat the demon lord, but a few little goblins absolutely broke me.
Yeah. She has a nice bath with Priestess and looks out for Priestess and says, if you stay in here too long, you'll get dizzy and pass out. So she still takes care of them. And she's okay with... I
think Priestess probably reminds her of herself when she was starting out.
Yeah, I think that's it too. Although she worships the Earth Mother and she worships the Supreme God of Law. So where we would put Sword Maiden?
I mean, I'd like to put her in platinum, but we can't. So I'll give her a silver.
All right. So before or after Cowgirl? Because I know you said Cowgirl's your favorite. Okay.
Definitely. But I like this healing at the end for her. Just, with a few simple words from Goblin Slayer.
I'll be there to kill them all.
Yeah.
All right. The fan service witch. They like to show directly on her titties. She pulls things out of her titties. Green Warrior was like, oh.
She's definitely there for the Pornhub.
And yeah, exactly. And she yells at him for staring at her titties. Um,
And she's like, I don't mind. Ooh.
and she's very strong. Um, she tells Priestess, she has a very important part with Priestess where she tells not to worry about what other people say about Goblin Slayer. He's like a good man, and to let you decide whether or not it's like your choice to go with him.
It seems like she's trying to pull her off the path almost, or misdirect her. There's a lot of mystery to the character, I think.
Yeah, but
But she's also
I
sort of like vague and ditzy as well.
yeah, I think she tries to help Priestess more than tell her to go away from Goblin Slayer.
Yeah.
And she was the one who knew Goblin Slayer was Goblin Slayer without his armor on because of his demeanor. And she knew that was Goblin Slayer. While Spearman was like, they've known each other for like 5 years. And Spearman was like, man, you look familiar. Do I know you? He fucking doesn't even like, you're really pale. But where would we put Witch, the queen of fan service?
I'll give her Emerald
Emerald? Where in Emerald?
at the end.
Okay. So this is our tier list. I really don't like that we have a filthy goblin for when it comes to this. Especially because he's one of my favorite. I would put him here. But
I mean, we could always try to compromise.
you want more than 3 in platinum? You want this, huh? And then I can have that, right?
Yep, that works.
All right, fine. Platinum 5. That way I can get Spearman up there. Compromise. All right. So we usually end it with the tier list. Do you want to tell people where they can find you or anything? And you can put them in the private chat and I can go put it there. Dude, Goblin Slayer is fucking awesome, man. You won't regret it.
Who's it? Yeah, definitely, mate. One of the better shows I've ever been recommended, for sure.
Fucking awesome, dude. I love it.
Let's see. I had to pull out my thing. Keep talking.
So while the Raptor is pulling out his thing, that's pretty dirty, you guys. We have more stuff. You know, I've been showing off my Goblin Slayer merchandise throughout the thing. There is where is it? Is it this book? There's like a okay, so you see this character here? That's the hero. That's the one who like destroys the demon lord. Like it's nothing. The one who like he meets her and it's like he doesn't even like. Ooh, okay.
Oh, yeah, I remember seeing that episode where there was like, it seemed so out of place because it was like back in time, or was it forward in time? And
Yeah,
they just sort of randomly mentioned, "Oh, the Demon Lord's dead now."
Yeah,
Like, it seemed like they were building it up, and then they just threw it away.
Yeah, so
It was a bit confusing.
That also has to deal with them switching the episodes around.
Okay.
So because they, okay, so I have this in the description, anyways. Okay, so
Right. Find me at the full Aussie.
He does the full Aussie channel, so go ahead and follow that if you're not following it already.
That's all their shorts to do their thumbnails.
Yeah, he does.
Edit a few videos now and then with Skirmitar.
Yeah, I used to do the editing with Skirmitar too. So Skirmitar is going to make the intro for this on here.
You did tell me about that.
He's going to make the intro for me. I offered him money and he said no. So I'm going to have to find a way to give him money.
Someone was watching a was it? Might have been back at the Ute. No, it was full Aussie actually when we had Floyd on the other week, and someone dropped $500 on.
Yeah, I was there. I was there. Yep.
Definitely shout out to Floyd TV, man.
Yeah.
Absolute legend.
Yeah. Flood's pretty cool. I saw him for the first time. Like I didn't know who he was, and I saw him for the first time on Normal World, Quarter Black Garrett's new show with
Yeah.
Dave Lando, and then
I've seen him around for the last couple of years.
then he
Just like
then he started being on all the channels I watch. Well, see, I never watched Tim Pool or Kriegler, so I didn't know any of those guys until they were like on with Ryan and stuff.
Yeah,
Or
I used to watch
Lethal.
him. I don't watch him as much anymore because it's only so much politics and stuff you can take sometimes.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just want entertainment, and I think Flawlessly does a pretty good job of that.
It definitely does. Sometimes.
Dan
Well,
Blackboard always makes me laugh.
so the funny thing is about the intro for this channel, I was going to make an intro for this channel, right? So I'm a pretty good editor, you know, not like the best. Skirmitar's taught me some cool stuff. I found some cool videos. Skirmitar's got me websites where I can get some stuff too.
Yeah, he's always helping out.
Yeah, I'm just not creative at all. I think that side of my brain is completely dead now. And I was like, I don't know how, like, if someone gave me an idea and was like, do this, I could probably make a kick-ass video of it, right? But
Yeah.
I was like, how am I going to do this fucking intro? So I was like, Skirmitar, I will give you money. Can you make this for me? And he's like, I can't take your money. I was like, damn it, take my money. If you're going to help me out, I want to reward you for it.
I'll try to talk him into it.
Yeah, convince him to take my money.
Especially in this space, man. Getting people to pay you is hard enough.
Yeah. Lethal paid me in sexual favors, but he had to buy like prostitutes because he's in Australia.
I've been trying to get him to pay me in that, mate. Just keep saying no. Keep sending me $50.
Fucking bastard.
It's like, I'll pay you not to say that.
No. This is hurtful.
Wow.
You know, I'm the eye candy on a lot of streams, okay? I just stand there, I just sit there, look pretty, and then they're like, Biggles, read the super chat. And we all know I read slightly better than Mazza.
I mean, yeah, you got that going for you.
Yeah. I mean, when I first met or first tried to talk to Ryan Reaper, I was like, what's up, Raptor? Ryan Raptor?
Wow.
I can't.
I was watching Weaves and Waifus a few weeks ago. I said something, and Christina called me Ryan Raper.
Oh shit!
I was like, "Wow!" So I've been called worse.
Well, being a Raptor,
because she said like, "There's no E there; it's a 3." I'm like, "Yeah, but then you use the other 3 as an E anyway."
Right?
Bloody women!
Fucking women! Can't read, can't drive, can't write. No, I'm just kidding. That's a joke I need Lethal on for, you know.
Legal sexism breakdown.
I need a Lethal or Ryan on to do it. The other Ryan. Well,
The sexism in breakdown.
the sexism in the breakdown. So that's about it for Goblin Slayer, you guys.
This was a lot of fun. Thank you so much for having me on.
Oh no, dude! Thank you for being on here. And then P Dub says he got.
You're lucky you got a slightly higher energy, Ryan, than you did.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you were on here. We'll have to get you back for another show.
Definitely.
Next
Are you doing
week,
Demon Slayer, or have you done Demon Slayer?
we did Demon Slayer 2 weeks ago.
Shit.
Or last week. No, last week.
I've gone through this thing lately where
2 weeks ago.
After I finish watching Demon Slayer, nothing else seems good enough anymore.
And then you watch Goblin Slayer, and you're like, "Shit,
I can get with this." Yeah.
But yeah, Demon Slayer is so good, and I like Goblin Slayer more. Demon Slayer is probably
high praise.
Demon Slayer is probably
because
better.
there is nothing about Demon Slayer that's not good.
Yeah, Demon Slayer is probably better objectively than Goblin Slayer, but subjectively, Goblin Slayer I like better. So Chunk is throwing out my links. Those are all
Go
in the
Chunk.
description. We're also live on Rumble right now, but no one ever goes on my Rumble, so we're just there.
That happens to a lot of people.
Yeah.
I think we're in the process of trying to figure all that stuff out.
Yeah, I'm just going with the flow, posting the videos. But next week on the Biggles Breakdown, I may or may not have a guest. Damaj and I is supposed to be on the channel with me, and we're talking Rising of the Shield Hero.
Nice.
I just finished rewatching that today. So I'll be talking about that. If Damaj and I is not with me, I will be going in it alone. If Damaj and I can, if me and Damaj and I can pre-record it, we'll do a premiere and I'll hang out with you guys in the chat while it goes on. So I would like to thank all of you for being here. Raptor, I would like to thank you for being my guest.
Like I said, man, happy to be on anytime.
If you want, melee attack the thumbs up. Bitch slap.
Oh, if you want, fucking smack that like button, you fucking cunts.
If you're not subscribed, bitch slap the subscribe button. And then
Make sure you leave at least 10 comments.
Yeah, leave 10 comments about how I can't read and which character is your favorite. And then I'll see you guys next week on the Biggles Breakdown. Anything else, I'll be live on Kick and stuff. You can go see there. And we're going to end it the same way we started it.
Like hell, we're gonna believe that. A goblin lord? My ass. You're just a damn goblin. Just a disgusting little goblin.